Yo boys, it's me, Harapan here, and today, in Diablo 4, we've seen a new cosmetic pack drop, the World of Warcraft collection, and me being a big WoW nerd and D4 nerd, I'm into that. So let me see what we've got cooking, or let's see what Blizzard has made us. So I can see there's two free items, we'll check them out.
A powerful calling.
Powerful calling. It's one of the banners. Obviously, you get the Horde one. I'm gonna claim that later. I left it just so I could show it because I don't know if it hides itself. But you know, Horde symbol, not too bad.
A powerful calling.
And the Alliance symbol, which I prefer. You know, for the Alliance, all of that stuff. I know most people are Hordes, but that's just my take. But it is what it is. Now, that's the only free items on this list. So from this point out, everything costs a lot of money. I think the bundle was around £49. I think on discount. I think it's like 5.7k. Let me double check that. 5.7k. Platinum, normally 22.4 thousand. I think that's if you put all the sets together. But we put that aside for now. I'm going to go through them one by one. I'm going to rate what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of tier 2, I think. That's what it was called. But it's a lot of WoW tier sets that have been redesigned in like the modern era and for D4. First up, the iconic, probably one of the best sets, if not the best set ever made by some people's regards. You have the Judgment Armor for Paladin. One of the greatest sets ever, probably still the quintessential Paladin set. Legion had a few good ones, I must say. Hold on, I looked earlier. There we go. I've always been a big fan of the purple. And there we have it. I forget what it was called back in the day. I forgot the name of the set. But it was like the tier 2.5, I think it was, or later on in TBC you can get the off color from dungeons. I love the way this looks, man. I think this looks sick. I think the male option has slightly bigger shoulder pads, but I think it looks so fucking badass. I love the cloak details. I wish it looked like this in WoW, but hey, can't have it all. It looks really nice. I'm not going to go through all the other colors, but another one I'd recommend, if you do get it, is the Sunlight Mariner. Very good blue. Kind of reminds me of what Angels would look like. And for the weapon, we have the Untamed Blade, which I think you can also get from, forget the name of the raid, but it's one with Neltharion at the end. I'm pretty sure you can get it from there. Looks like a very good sword. Love that sword. Next up, we have the Nemesis Raiment, the Warlock set. I love this, personally. Think it looks sick. I wouldn't personally use it on my Warlock. I'm more of a chainy kind of person. But, you know, my inner WoW nerd loves this set. It looks really good in this recolor. It looks much better than the one that's in the game, I must confess. Tome of Shadow. Don't know if these are actual letters or if it's just random scribes they've slapped together. But I do like the look of the item. Thank you, phone, for vibrating. Get out my fucking way. I love the look of this, though. I love, honestly, anything that's WoW that gets, like, remodeled, I think is great. Battle Gear of the Wraith. A.K.A. one of the best warrior sets ever made. I've always thought, personally, this was more of a DK set in terms of its visuals. Like, it screams unholy to me. But it is, in fact, warrior. Obviously, it predates the existence of Death Knight in terms of being a class in the game. I love this set, man. I love this set. It just screams PvP in my head. I don't know why. It just gives me PvP vibes. The path to power, you say? More blades. Here, blade. There, blade. And finally, you got it, blade. From an unknown source. Got Doom's Edge Axe. Love it. And Krul Shurkuf. I'm butchering that poor language. Edge of Chaos. Hold on, if I go back into that. I think there was a colour that I saw that looked really nice. It's like the Sunlight Mariner set. I'll go back to it. First of all, purple looks really good there. It's reminiscent of the Void sets that have just come out in retail. I love Royal Mariner, man. It looks a bit wide, but hey, it is what it is. I wish we got some of the weapons remade in actual WoW, though. The 10 Storms, the Chamois set, Spiritborn, in this case. Love this. Always thought this was one of the better sets for Shaman, in my opinion. I've not really been a big Shaman player, so Shaman players might disagree with me. You have the Shadow Wing focus staff here in the cosmetics. Very nice Shaman set. Next, we have the Pale Rider's Eternal Armor, aka the DK Tier 2 set that they made in honor of, I think it was WoW's 20th anniversary. I could be mistaken. Or 25th, one of them, and then they ended up remaking a bunch of the old tier 2s, and obviously Death Knight monks and demon hunters and evokers didn't have tier 2s, so they made this one, and I think it looks very nice. Probably a little bit too bulky to be Necromancer, I think, in the game, but however, it still is a very good DK set. I think because of the posture that the necromancers have, it looks a bit weird with bulky plate armor. However, they did drop an Ash Candy Greatsword of the Brotherhood. A legendary sword, not literally, but in terms of its reputation, definitely a fucking cult classic. Love this blade. And the set itself's quite nice. I don't think it's worthy of an Ash Candy, though. I would have gone with, I mean, I think Frostmourn's already in the game as part of another collab, but there are some, I can't remember the name of them right now, but there are, like, some Frost Greatswords that I'm thinking of that I think would have been better. But hey, next up, Neverwind Regalia, Mage set, however, for Sork in this game. Probably the worst hair model we could have had to view this on, but it is what it is. And you have the Staff of Shadow Flame, which actually looks so badass. It gives me big Warlock energy, but either way, always been not the biggest fan of Mage sets in general, but this isn't too bad. I think it looks really nice, and it's really good, like, faithful recreation of the original one. Moving on, one of the goat armors, Bloodfang armor, aka the rogue that would gank you if you played in any form of PvP, and or put you in a sap prison. No ifs or buts, this is what would happen. Even arena is in the description. But I love this set, man. Oh, it's so good. And honestly, come on, give me that shadow color variation. Oh, I just swapped the body types. Who cares? I also love that there's, like, I know many people won't use all the color variations, but I love that there are so many color variations because it kind of gives you a what if. Like, imagine if WoW had some of these. I wish it was a darker purple, I must be honest, but I still think it looks pretty good. And then we have, like, some of the alternative colors, which I wish we had them in WoW. Like, that looks so cool, man. Oh my goodness. I can just imagine, like, old school Ranger General Sylvanas wearing something similar to this in a way. And then for the weapons, we have the chromatically tempered sword. Looks very nice. And one of my favorite swords, a Maladath Ruined Blade of the Black Flame. Pretty sure there was an old video that Asmon watched once. I think someone tried to remake the original blade in Unreal Engine 5, I think. Could be wrong there. But that's a pretty good video, and it reminds me somewhat of this. I might end up putting that in the description. If I don't, my bad. But very good looking blade nonetheless. It deserves a remastering game. And next up we have the Storm Rage Raiment for Druids. And my god, he looks like a Chungus. He looks massive. Malfurion if he was a Cultirian human, 100%. And we have the Loc Amir Il Romathis. Oh, Romathis. I'm actually unfamiliar with this weapon, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever seen this in WoW. I don't play Druid, though. Don't touch Druid at all. Anyway. Moving on. Sindragosa lookalike. Much like I'm pretty sure it's the Raid 25 man achievements. You get something that looks very similar to this. I love the look of this. It's great. Got a Frostworm egg on the side that you can choose to have. Or you can have Claw of the Frostworm, which I'm pretty sure is a fist weapon in-game. I don't know if it drops from Sindragosa. I imagine it does, if it's gonna be there. Next up, Ruler of the Firelands. We have Mini Rag. Mini Rag also comes with the Eye of Sulphurus Mount Trophy. There you go, staring you dead in the eye. And then we have the Forged by Fire emblem. I will punish you, phone. Shut up. After that, we have Ravenlord Anzu. Love this. It's such a faithful recreation. Like, it's such a good upscale model. I love this. Also have the head feathers of Ikis. I believe that's the helmet of the boss that you get this guy from, or this mount from. And then the flames of Sethek. I'm unsure if that's a weapon that drops in that instance, though. I don't recognize it, but it might be. Either way, it's very good. I like it. And we have a pet that I believe is in the game. If not, I know the mount definitely is. We have the Savior of the Shores, the Tyrael Murloc, or as the description says, Murgle, 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 Murgle. Looks really cool. You can get a really cute aspect to the Ty's Mount Trophy that does look very nice. A broken blade of Eldruin behind him. The Sanctified Marsh symbol. I believe he's also a D3 pet. I could be wrong though. Then we have the Lord of Outland. We have Illidan's wings with all of its tattered glory. Looks amazing. Iconic Bulwark of Azzinoth, the only shield you see every warrior, prot warrior in the game wear. Along with the Skull of Gul'dan, which actually looks like a really faithful remake. It actually looks like it was used in a cutscene at one point. Or it reminds me of Warcraft 3, I don't know why. And we have Zardum, the Great Staff of the Devourer. Classic WoW model, even with the movements looking like the Zerglings, as I'm sure was the inspiration. And then we have the Ascent of the Betrayer. And after that we have the Armaments of Azeroth, which is a bunch of old legendaries such as Shadowmourne, Golad, and Tiriosh of the Rogue quest line. A lot of people forget these legendaries actually exist. Obviously Shadowmourne's quite popular. A lot of plate wearers like to farm this and then flip the profits. And then we have Dragon Wrath, Tarragos's Rest for the Mages and the Warlocks, I think. And then Foridal Star's Fury that you can get from Sunwell. And then Valinir, Hammer of the Ancient Kings that you can get from Ulduar. And then I think that caps off the WoW bundle. Like I said, overall, the whole bundle costs 5.7k. That's just for the armors. Just to clarify, just for the armors. All of this is separate. But yeah, no, I really love it, man. It's so cool. I love seeing these kind of like collabs they bring to the game, and I fucking love Warcraft, man. Anyway, that's my quick review of all the new sets. I know I kind of skipped past some of them. That's just kind of my bias. I'm personally more of a play T slash DH kind of monk player, and obviously DH and monk isn't being represented here that much. But for the plate sets, much love. I don't really like the mage sets. Not to say I don't like the sets. I like the sets. They look good. I just didn't play them, so my biases, I'm going to just go past it. Either way, though, I think it's great. I just wish, Blizzard, that we tuned down the pricing a little bit, as it's fucking crazy expensive. But hey, it is what it is. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace out. Ciao.